All right, folks, hopefully you can hear me as I drive across the state of Illinois. So in this video, I've entitled it How to Maximize the Money that you can make for your retirement, be it through, say, the Navy Reserve, the Army, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, whatever, right? I believe all these apply across them. So realistically, I look at 4 different ways that you can increase the amount of money that you will make in retirement before you die. All right. So first one is maximizing your points. And it looks like my camera stand's going to go all over the place. Whether that be by doing all of your drills, whether it's doing extra unpaid drills, funeral honors, on your ATs, making sure you maximize those. So if you can get 29 days AT, get away from your civilian employer, that is a great thing, great way to do it. Getting extra ADT, those are always great if once again, if you can get away from your employer. And depending on the service, there's other paid drills that you can get. So a lot of those might go to the CO of the unit, and then him or her decides who they are going to give those to. They may decide they want all of them for themselves. I haven't met a CO that's done that. Usually divide them evenly across the people that actually do the work in the reserve unit, right? So funeral honor is something I've never done, but talking to different people, oh my gosh, that is a great way to get your point total up and make a lot of extra money on the side. Now, what else, folks? So, points obviously adds up, right? 7,300 points would be equal to 20-year active duty. And, when you start looking at that, it's like, oh, wow. You look at the pay table that you think you'll retire at, then, you can get a good idea of basically doing that. Of course, there's retirement calculators out there. So, moving on, number 2, maximize your rank, right? That might not be the easiest thing in the world, but if you love this country and you're patriotic and you're a hard worker, your hard work usually is going to pay off by increasing your rank. So, let's say you're enlisted, obviously trying to get to that, if you're in the Navy, that chief level, sergeant first class and beyond. Each rank you go up, if you look at the pay tables, there's a considerable pay increase there. Now, let's say you're a Navy E6, E7, considering going to LDO warrant, that's going to be a significant increase. Obviously, there's other ways to go from enlisted officer. One could go out and get a 4-year degree. The government is going to pay for it. Why not do it, folks? That'll pay off across your whole lifetime. And you can once again tell by the pay tables how much more you would make as an officer versus enlisted. And obviously, if one makes it up to, say, E9, you've got a little ways to go as an officer to get past that. Now, if you're an officer, obviously getting promoted is important, and so that's number 2. Amount of years of service, folks. Look at the pay table. So, if you can handle doing more than 20 years, and you are physically and mentally capable, that is another way that you're going to build your retirement retirement, right? Your top three factors in there to the pay tables. And so just looking at those pay tables, you can kind of see like, oh, if I get 22 years in instead of 20, my base pay would jump up, let's say $300 or something, maybe $100, whatever. Now, if you want to get that top three, then to be that 22-year mark, well, you've got to do years 22, 23, 24, at that. And actually, it is probably, more like years 22 to 23, 23 to 24, 24 to 25, right? So, maximizing that way. Now, at some point, some of you might not be allowed to go any further. Some of you will be terminal at 20 years. There's waivers out there. You can increase that. Now, so we've talked about three. Those are really kind of the main things, but number four is also something that it could be beneficial to you. If you think about what this is titled, how do I increase my amount of money I'm going to make in retirement? All right, so if I have to wait till age 60 to collect, but I've actually left the reserves at age 40, age 50, well, let's just use the example of 40. I've got 20 years that I've got to wait to collect that retirement, right? What's something one could do to lessen that 20 years? Well, on the Navy side, and I'm sure this applies across the reserves forces, but one can go on certain types of Title 10, Title 32 orders, such as individual augmentee, IA orders basically, and this can decrease your retirement age. So there are some caveats to that, which I'm not necessarily going to go into all of it, but if you basically do 270 days of an IA, you will be able to retire 270 days earlier, right? If you do 290, it's still going to be 270 days unless it happens to correspond with back-to-back IA orders. All right, so doing a few of those, you might go from age 60 down to 58, 57, whatever it may be, right? So now, how does that benefit you? Obviously, I've got 2-3 more years more that I'm going to be getting paid while potentially you're still working another job, but you're getting that extra paycheck coming in, right? And some people, maybe it's only $1,000. If you were to retire as a colonel or a captain, or maybe you got lucky to get that star, you could be looking at $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month that you would get earlier, right? So now, obviously, life can get in the way. People have families. Something I had hoped was when I would go on ATs and stuff that I would be able to bring the family, so they didn't feel like, oh God, you're off on military duty again. That didn't always work out so good unless, guess what, I went to Hawaii or went somewhere cool that they wanted to go to. But yeah, folks, that's the I would say that's really the top four. Are there other ways you could do it? Potentially there are, but I think those are the main ones. And you will, if you follow that, you'll have a better source of retirement than you would if you just go about doing the minimums, right? That's part of the problem, I guess, for some people. well, I guess it depends, right? Some people, they have a life, right? They can't put in more than the 12 weekends a year, the 2 weeks of annual training. Unfortunately for those people, it's harder to get you promoted, right? So getting somewhere between that and maximizing everything, that's one way things will pay off, right? Because not only did I make more points, I did more work, I had more to show for it on my eValve, OER, fit rep, whatever. And if you're able to do that, you're going to see those promotions. You're going to see that bigger check, not only currently, but you're going to see it in the future when you retire. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. If this actually turns out to be popular, I will pass on more of my wonderful advice. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe.